So our theme for this month is building your wealth. So I will be taking you through various conversations as we're going to be progressing through the different weeks for the month of July. But today we're going to be talking about property and specifically about how to analyze a good property deal, because I believe that's very important for us as entrepreneurs and especially also as women in business. It's important for us to also start thinking, multiple streams of income. Even though we are in business, we need to think about multiple streams of income. We also need to think about diversification as far as our investment strategies are concerned. So this is really a topic that I'm very passionate about. As part of my SME Women Initiative, you also know that one of our core focus areas is property, because I do believe that as every woman woman entrepreneur out there, I believe it's important for us to start building our property portfolio on the side as well. And I'll share with you a little presentation that I've put together, just a few slides that I've put together for today's discussion, so that I'm able just to better illustrate how we are able to, analyze some good deals. But I'm just going to give everyone just an opportunity to connect, and I just want to acknowledge all of you. So awesome. So I see Belinda has joined. Awesome, Belinda. It's good to see you. I also see Pamela has joined. So that's great stuff. We've got Lionel, we've got Vivian. I see Winfred has also joined us, and there's so many of you. And I can see that you are all Sandile, Ricardo, Sherry Lee, awesome. So well done, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. And I am not going to be wasting any time, but I want to get straight into my presentation for today. As I said, I'm just going to take you through a few slides. I will be sharing my screen with you here. So just give me a moment just to do that. Okay, I believe you should be seeing my screen. That's great. So as I said, today we're going to be discussing how to analyze a good property deal. So for those of you who are considering going into property, you might be in property, but you may have made some bad mistakes in the past, lost some money. That's how I got started initially. I just heard, we hear from people in our circles that property is a good investment strategy. So when I got started, I didn't quite have all the knowledge and the education that I have today in the areas of property and business. So I just bought property. And of course, I made some mistakes in the beginning, and I also lost a lot of money. But I want to, through this session today, I want to empower some of you so that you can become more equipped in this particular investment strategy, so that as you start making your decisions going forward, of course, it's going to be a better experience for you. And also, if you are in business, as I said earlier on, it also then becomes an opportunity to be able to generate lump sums of profit that can also assist us, in our businesses. Some of us may experience seasonal sales as far as our business is concerned. So then property can also become another vehicle that can supplement some of the income that you need in order for you to continue achieving those business goals. And then, of course, it can also become another stream of monthly income that you are able to generate month after month. And that, of course, then becomes an opportunity to start putting in place some passive income from that perspective. Okay, so not to waste any time, let's go straight into it. So I think let's just talk about why property is considered to be a low risk investment strategy. And some of you may be familiar with this, but some of you, this may be the first time that you are being exposed to property and discussing it as an investment strategy. Now, these are some of the reasons why property is considered to be a low risk investment strategy in comparison to other strategies. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, it's real and it's tangible. So that means that we can feel the property, we can see the property, we can touch the property, and we can even hug the property if we want to. So it's a real entity and the property exists. Also, property provides us with leverage, and not any kind of leverage, but 100% leverage. Now, what does that mean? It provides it provides us 100% leverage, by using OPM. Now, who can tell me out there what OPM is before I continue? Can anyone tell me what OPM is? Okay, so I'm just waiting for some responses. If there's anyone out there who can tell me what OPM is, that will be awesome. Okay, there may be a little bit of a delay. So OPM is other people's money. So it provides us with a means to leverage OPM and also leveraging it by 100% leveraging OPM. And using the bank's money is then also a means of leveraging OPM. But let me just get into the rest of the items and then we'll move forward on that. Also, property can provide us with unlimited wealth and security. So that means that we can just become comfortable through property, or we can become multi-millionaires. It really just depends on the individual and how far you want to take your property investing. And then also property can provide us with cash flow. And I want you to also write this down, that cash flow is king. Cash flow is king. And why do we say cash flow is king? Because cash flow is ultimately going to bring about financial freedom in your life. So once you've generated enough of cash flow, then you will eventually reach your first level of financial freedom. And what is financial freedom, ladies and gentlemen? I want you to think about what your monthly expenses are today. So if you had to give a figure to that, what does your monthly expenses look like? So write down that particular figure, taking into account all items such as maybe your home loan repayments, rental payments, vehicle expenses, children's school fees, groceries, insurance, that type of thing. So I want you to think about what that total monthly amount is as far as your expenses and liabilities are concerned. Now, once you have that mind in place, that number in place, and for some of you it may be 20,000, for some of you it may be 40,000, and for some of you maybe more than that. But let's work with a figure today of, let's say, 40,000, for example, and that's what your monthly expenses amounts to every day. Then that will ultimately become your financial freedom figure. So it will become the first level of your financial freedom figure, because bear in mind that there are different levels of financial freedom, because as our goals are going to increase, so will that financial freedom figure. As our lifestyle needs are going to increase, so will that financial freedom figure on a monthly basis as well. But it's important to know at the first level what that amount is. Now, once you know that amount, and we're working with an amount of about 40,000, then what I mean when I say that cash flow is king and cash flow is going to bring about financial freedom in your lives, cash flow is now that monthly profit income that you are going to be generating through your properties. So you are going to be buying, investing in property, placing a tenant in your property, and then of course the monthly profit income that you are generating from that particular tenant is then what is considered to be cash flow. So this is once you've deducted all the expenses from the rental income, you're left with profit income and not negative cash flow from that perspective. But I'll show you a deal or two so that you can just better understand that. And then also property is accessible for everyone. And I think this is important. You know, some people think that you need to have access to, millions of rands to get started, or maybe even thousands of rands to get started. But really, property is accessible for everyone. I think, for me, the most important thing to do is, as far as property is concerned, if you are not too comfortable, in pursuing this strategy as an investment strategy, then it's important to make sure that you get the right type of education. There are so many different educational companies out there, and I will be sharing with you on my page as well, some of the platforms that you could possibly tap into to get some additional education. And of course, I will be bringing value to you via these types of webinars and live broadcasts as well. But okay, so it's accessible for everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you are male, whether you are female, whether you are young or old. Anyone can get started in property, because there is a way for us to leverage OPM in such a way so that we are able to move our property and our financial goals forward. And then also the exciting thing about property is that we get to build a legacy for the generations after us. So that really means that our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren don't have to start at zero. So we can set our property up in such a way that the property gets passed down from generation to generation. And of course, that way we really get to leave a real legacy for the generations after us. And then through our property businesses, we can also become more tax efficient. I'm not going to be focusing too much on this, but you are welcome to discuss this with your tax specialist. But through our property businesses, we are able to become more tax efficient as well, which is really an awesome thing. Because as you can imagine, also with property investing, with all the income that you're going to be generating, of course, SARS will want a portion of that. But it's important for us to understand how we are able to become more tax efficient, so that we can have more money in our pockets at the end of the day. And as I said, find a good tax specialist who can also help you in terms of becoming more tax efficient as far as your property deals are concerned going forward. But okay, so I just want to also mention to you, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have any questions, please remember, leave them in the chat box. So at the end of my presentation today, probably another 10 or 15 minutes, I will give you an opportunity just to ask questions, and then we can work through that. But remember, our theme for the month of July is building your wealth, and hence the reason why I am starting with property today. Okay, so let's move on. Now, many of you know that a triangle is usually used to display stability in a particular system. Now, here we've got a system representing different investment strategies, and as you can see, property is at the core of the system. Now, let's see what Robert Kiyosaki and Kim Kiyosaki say about property, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with them. They are the owners of Rich Dad Education, and they say that real estate is an essential core investment strategy. So real estate is an essential core investment strategy. Now, I've also been trained by Rich Dad Education as far as my property journey is concerned, and all the learnings and the knowledge that I get. And I still spend a lot of time listening to both Robert and Kim Kiyosaki's teachings around property and other investment strategies. And for those of you who know them, you know they've been investing in property for many years, and also have multiple streams of income and different investment strategies in place. So even though they also have multiple investment strategies in place, or different investment strategies in place, they still teach us that property needs to be at the core of our investment strategies. Because I want to ask you this question. When you start a business today, is your business able to generate profits from the beginning? Can it do that for you? So I also want you just to put that response in the comments section for me on our chat today. So please just put it in there. And tell me if when you start a business, is it able to generate income for you from day one? No. Most businesses do not generate income for us from day one. But property can generate income for us from day one. And that's what I'm going to also show you today. So some of our business, we have to work on our businesses for a couple of months or a couple of years before we really start seeing some good and healthy returns from that business. And of course, there are other investment strategies, but if you think about it, once you've got your financial freedom in place through property, now you are able to comfortably pursue any other business venture, any other investment strategy. Why? Because you are generating all the income that you need on a monthly basis from your property portfolio that you have put in place. Now, one of my coaching students asked me yesterday, we had an online business coaching session yesterday, and she asked me, Candice, I'm in business, but I also want to get started in property. Do I have to leave my business first and then get started in property? You know, what is the best approach forward? So, ladies and gentlemen, you must remember that all of us, when we get started, we're not in property. So we are either in a full-time job, or we are either self-employed, or we are business owners. But at the end of the day, the important thing is that whilst you are in that other strategy already, it's important to start your investing journey on the side as well. And that's what I said to her. I said to her, you've got your business now, you're working on your business, but it's important for you to start investing in property so that you can already start generating an additional income that can obviously start meeting some of your financial goals at this stage. So you can already get started where you are. If you are in a place today where you have access to finance, or maybe you've got your own finance in place, now is a good time for you to actually start investing in property, provided you have obviously done the right level of due diligence, you've run your numbers, and you know that you're going to be making a profit from that deal. And if you do not have all the knowledge today to make the right decisions, then of course the important thing is to make sure that you get the right knowledge as well. So I will also be doing a webinar in the near future, and this is a collaboration with another property educational company, where we will be sharing with you also how you are able to do back-to-back deals without having to put any of your own money down. Now, that's an awesome way of investing in property as well, because The one way is leveraging OPM, but there is a way for us to also do back-to-back deals, and we call them no money down deals. So it's just another strategy in property. And that's an awesome strategy. So if you can't access the bank's money at this time, or maybe you don't have any of your own capital to get started, it is important for you to understand that there is a strategy in property called back-to-back deals or no money down strategies. And that then becomes another way for you to be able to start moving your financial goals forward. And that is why I said earlier on, anyone can get started in property today. It doesn't matter who you are, because there is a way for us, number one, to leverage OPM, or number two, to do no money down deals so that we can get started in property. But okay, let's move forward. So for those of you who are online and who are listening to me today, I also want you to write this down, that property equals foundation plus security. So property equals foundation plus security. Now, I want you to think about this. So once you've got or once you have your financial freedom in place through property, it will do two things for you. Okay. So one, it will give you financial security, because now you're generating all the income that you need through your property. And now that you've got financial freedom, security in place, now you also have your time back. And that is why now, I said earlier on, now you can comfortably pursue any other investment strategy, business venture, whatever it is that you want to do. Some of you may even choose to do nothing, and the income that you get from your property will be sufficient for you to actually say, I am now, not going to be pursuing any other business ventures or whatever it is. But I think it's important for us, if we really want to become wealthy, it's important for us to think diversification of investment strategies. And it's also important for us to think, multiple streams of income. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So here is some points that I want you to write down. So for those of you who are out there, I want you to write some of these points down. So when you start thinking that you are now ready, you've gotten the right level of education, the right level of knowledge, and you feel that you are now in a stronger position to move forward, I want you to take some of these things into account as you start analyzing a good property deal. Now, the first thing is that I want to ask you today is, why do you want to be successful? Okay, so why do you want to be successful? Now, lots of people want to be successful and they want more money in their pockets, but they don't know what they're going to do with the money once it comes into their pockets. And ladies and gentlemen, if it was just about the money, everyone would have had more than enough. So there needs to be a bigger reason and a bigger purpose of why we want to be successful. And I think that's very important for you to start thinking about that, is that why do you want to be successful? The next things are that you need to know what your financial goals are, and that becomes very important in property. So you need to know what your financial goals are today. You need to know what you want to achieve in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in the next 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, and so the journey continues. So it's important for us to know what those financial goals are. And those financial goals are normally linked directly to personal goals. So let's say, for example, your child is going to be starting university in a year's time, and you maybe need to put some lump sum deposit down in order for your child to start. That becomes a personal goal, but it's also a financial goal, because now you need to have a certain amount of capital available in order to actually register your child in the next 12 months. Some of you may be having special birthdays maybe coming up in the next 2 years, or you've got a travel destination that you would like to go to, or maybe some of you have some debt today that you need to get out of the way, debt that has been harassing you for the last couple of years, and you are now at a point where you need to start thinking of different ways of generating income so that you can take care of that debt. And that then becomes another financial goals. And maybe your plan is, you say, okay, I want to settle my debt maybe in the next 12 months to 3 years, whatever your financial goal is, it's important to know that goal. Once you are clear about why you want to be successful and what all of your financial goals are, it's now important to identify your strategy. Okay, because your strategy is now going to help you to achieve those financial goals. So there's different strategies that one can do in property. And I'll just, to put it in simple terms, there's either cash strategies, or there is cash flow strategies. So what that really means is that either you are able to generate lump sums of income, lump sums of cash, so that you are able to take care of some of those goals, or you are able to generate monthly cash flow, which is really monthly profit income, in order to help you to generate those the income that you need to achieve your goal. So you now need to decide, do you need cash or do you need cash flow? So once you've decided what strategy you are considering, of course, there are different sub-strategies, if I can call them that, under property that can help you generate that income. For example, there's capital flips, which is really the buying and selling of properties. There is buy-to-let strategies, and that's really, you know, where you start renting a property out. There's multi-lets. There's even bigger multi-let strategies that we also call HMOs. There's developments. There's different types of strategies that we are able to pursue as far as property is concerned. And now that you are able, now that you've identified your strategy, now it's important to know that you also need to research your area. Okay, so please excuse my typo areas on this presentation. I see I left the D out on the next point, and yeah, so apologies for that. But nevertheless, the next point is that you need to research your area. Because remember, you can't just go into any area and think that you are able to invest in that area using the strategy that you are considering. It's important to understand that there is a level of area research that needs to be applied so that firstly you can identify if there is demand for property in that particular area, you know, for the property type that you are considering. Some of you may want to get started with maybe bachelor units or maybe 2-bedroom apartments. Some of you are maybe considering going into, you know, 3 to 4 bedroom houses. Some of you may be going on to bigger deals. Whatever it is, it's important for you to understand that there is demand for the property type that you are considering, and also that the strategy that you have already decided to move forward on, that you would be able to apply that particular strategy in that area. Okay, so there is a level of area research that needs to be done, and today I will not be focusing on that, but let's just move on. So once you've done that, it's important then for you to also then do your due diligence, because as you can imagine, like any strategy, any business venture that you are considering, any deal that you are considering going into, we have to do a level of due diligence to make sure that all the ticks are in place before we actually go ahead and make that decision, isn't it? So that's what I'm referring to here. So even in property, there is a way for us to do due diligence so that we can make sure that all those checks are in place in order for us to move that strategy forward. And then, of course, remember, the numbers don't lie. So it's important for us to make sure that we run our numbers, and the numbers will tell us, you know, whether this is a deal for us to pursue or not. So just remember that the numbers don't lie. So it's important for you as a property investor. It's important to know that we don't just go out and buy properties. We don't buy properties with our emotions. We don't buy them with our feelings, with our hearts. We have to make sure that we buy them with our calculator. So it's important for us to run the numbers and make sure that that deal is going to work for us. Okay, awesome. And then I think the next bit that I just want to share with you is that it's important to know when you go into a property deal, it's important for you to know that you make your money when you buy. So before you go into the deal, you need to know what type of profit income you can expect from that particular deal. So before I used to buy property, I didn't know anything about running the numbers or even making your money when you buy. And that is why I made some mistakes, because I bought my property at the wrong prices. And of course, when I wanted to sell some of them, I couldn't really benefit as much as I could have from that particular deal, because I did buy the property at the wrong price. And also, when you buy it at the wrong price, sometimes you'll find that you also won't be able to generate profit income every month. So as trained investors, we want to make sure that we are able to generate healthy profit income on a monthly basis if we are buying property for cash flow. So it's important to know that before you go into any deal, you're going to make your money when you buy. So let's just look at a deal. So this is I just want to illustrate to you quickly just how you are able to just analyze a deal. So first of all, it's important to know that not every deal that you are going to be buying is going to be a good property deal. So in this particular case here, the seller needed to sell quickly because they were immigrating. So that means that they became a little bit more negotiable as far as this particular deal is concerned. So it was then an opportunity to obviously negotiate a good purchase price with them there. Now, for those of you who don't necessarily know how to actually find or find these deals or where to find these deals, I want to introduce you to Property Pick. So Property Pick is also one of my other business ventures. It is an online investment property platform. And for those of you who may not be familiar with the platform, if you are looking for investment type deals, then Property Pick is definitely the place for you to tap into. So as investors ourselves, we discovered that there are two main issues that investors face, and that, or three in fact, and that is finding the good deals, finding a good power team, so that's property professionals and experts, and then also the time to find both. Because if you're doing other businesses, or if you're on a full-time employment job, you know, it's not always easy to go out and find these deals. So what we did was we put a platform in place that specializes only in investment type properties, and that way investors then have an opportunity to work through those deals and of course start running the numbers, doing their due diligence to make sure that the deal is going to work for them. But at least you can tap into one platform where you are able to connect to the good deals and also connect to a power team. So you're welcome to visit our website, and you'd be able to see how you can tap into some of these great opportunities. Now here, the strategy in this particular deal is a capital flip strategy. Now, as I said earlier on, a capital flip strategy in property is when you buy a property with the intention to sell it quickly. And the purchase price was 635,000. The attorney fees 20,000. Market value was 850,000. But here I sold it for 900,000 to a cash buyer. Now, normally I will sell my properties just a little bit below market value, but here I was just playing around a little bit because I just wanted, you know, I was just playing around to see if the cash buyer in this particular instance would be able to actually identify and know that they were paying more for this, they were paying above market value for this property, because the cash buyer in this particular instance was an estate agent. Now, of course, I don't have anything against estate agents. We work with very good estate agents and property brokers who are part of our Property Pick platform and also part of our power team. And there are some very good estate agents out there. But in this particular case, this estate agent didn't know, or they decided to pay above market value for this particular property. Now, can you see the difference between someone who has got an investor mindset and someone who's just buying property? And mind you, she was actually buying this property to rent it out. So it was a very bad decision on her case, because already she's losing money on the buy. So that is what I mean when I say it's important for us to make our money when we buy. Okay, so the profit on this particular deal here was 245,000 Rand. And yes, there are, of course, like I said earlier on, there are tax implications and all of those things, but you need to work with your power team, with your specialists in these areas, and they would be able to tell you how you can be tax efficient and still be able to generate some good lump sums of profits. And this is then, ladies and gentlemen, a capital flip strategy. And this is a way of how we are able to generate some lump sums of profit. Now, if you look at the profit on this particular deal, some of you can already use this money and start settling some of the bad debt that has been harassing you. Some of you can maybe, you know, start meeting some of those other financial goals, like the example that I made of the child that needs to go to university, and you need to take care of some of those fees there. So can you see how property can help you to generate some of the income that you need in order to meet some of those financial goals? Okay, so this is just one strategy that I'm sharing with you here. And then another one is also what we call a multi-let strategy in property. Now, in the buy-to-let strategy, it's just one tenant. But in the multi-let strategy, now we have more than one tenant. So that means that your property is being rented by more than just one tenant, and you are now able to collect rent from multiple tenants on a monthly basis. And once again, it's important for you to understand that, you know, it's not always easy to negotiate or to find the good deals as far as purchase prices are concerned. And that is why I say to you, it's important to know how to tap into these particular platforms and or opportunities. And I did say to you that one of the ways to do that is to go into Property Pick. And of course, you can also do some of your own research. And once you get the right level of knowledge and education, you'll also learn about all the other ways that you are able to tap into these good deals. But they are out there, because if you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of people over the last couple of weeks, as far as lockdown is concerned. I mean, we've even seen in our area, more properties are coming up for sale. Why? Because people are going through very difficult financial times. Some people have lost their jobs altogether. Some people have had to take massive salary cuts. Some businesses are not doing that well. Some businesses, in fact, have actually closed over this period. And what does this do? If people have home loans that they need to pay on their properties, it becomes a difficult situation for them to be in. And that is why we put Property Pick together. Firstly, it was to assist those people who are going through difficult times. So they may be in a situation where they are behind on their home loan payments, or they anticipate some financial challenges coming. So they want to sell now before they lose that property, before it's repossessed by the banks. Some people may be immigrating, they need to relocate, or, you know, they've got a situation there and they just need to leave that property ASAP. Some people may have received inheritance in the form of property. They don't want the property, they just want to sell it quickly. We have done deals like that where the children that inherited the property, they just wanted to get rid of the property ASAP, and of course share the profits that were generated from that deal. So there's different reasons. Some people may be facing divorce, and you know, they also just want to settle quickly. So they want to sell the property quickly. But each and every one of those types of sellers then become really distressed because they're finding themselves in a situation where they need to sell quickly. Now, in this particular deal, it was a multi-let strategy. The purchase price, $750,000, attorney fees, just over $47,000, refurb costs. So those are the maintenance changes that you need to do to the property in order to add value to the property, or so that you are able to do the strategy on that particular property, you know, in terms of the strategy that you are considering. So it's important to know that there will sometimes be a level of refurbishments that you need to apply to those properties. The total cost is just under 800,000 here. The rental income is 15,600. Now, this is the total rental income that is being collected from the multiple tenants that are in place as far as this property is concerned. And I can tell you, this particular property is a 2-bedroom apartment that is close to a university area. And instead of renting it out as one apartment or renting it out to one tenant, we identified that there's an opportunity here. So rather take the 2 bedrooms, and now you, instead of having one person in one bedroom, now you have 2 students. As you can see, each one has got his bed and the desk there, and they are then happy to share that space. And of course, the second bedroom has got the same situation happening. So now you are able to actually multiply the rental potential on that particular income. And that's what you need to think about now as well, how you are able to maximize the income potential. And there's so many different ways of being able to do that. And also the bond cost here, because in this particular deal, a bond was also taken out, and then there's other costs involved. And I don't have time to go through all of that, but for those of you who would like to really get some more insights as far as property is concerned, you're welcome to connect with me on info@CandiceVanWyk.com, and let me see how I can help you move those property goals forward. So as you know, being part of my platform, I also do offer business and property coaching. But for those of you who are able to do this yourself, these are the types of numbers that you need to run in order to do that. So the monthly cash flow on this particular deal is just under 6,000 Rand. So that is additional income that now comes into your bank account every single month, month after month. You are now able to generate this type of income. And of course, there are different deals, and every deal will have a different earning potential. But it's important for you to know that you're already able to get started as far as property is concerned. And once again, if you want to know where to find these good deals, and I mean on Property Pick, you'll find deals that range from about 200,000 and they can go up, you know, into the millions. But it's important for you to understand that wherever you are going to be investing in, you need to know that there is demand for the type of property that you're considering. You've done your due diligence, you've run your numbers, and of course, you know that the strategy is going to work in that particular area. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask me any questions. So I can see that there is a little bit of a delay on the slide because I'm already onto my Q&A slide, and I can see here that, okay, so it's just moved on to Q&A as far as the Facebook Live broadcast is concerned. So for those of you who may have any questions out there, please do connect with me now. Now is a good time to ask those questions, and I will obviously try and answer you as best as I can. We do still have a few minutes remaining, so I'm happy to take some questions at this time. Okay, so I think while some of you are getting your questions ready, I think just to share with you, what we are up to this month as far as the Candice van Wyk platform is concerned, SME Women and Reflections and all of these wonderful initiatives that we are working on. I just want to share with you that we started our business coaching program yesterday. And it was really, we really had a good time together. And it was also an opportunity for me to personally connect with those individuals who need some assistance in the area of business coaching. Now, the event information is available on my page across my social media platforms. So there is still an opportunity for those of you to get into it. You'll see there's 5 different modules that we cover. And you can either decide to take all 5 modules, or you can just take one module, the one that is of most importance to you. And that way you can still register for that particular module. So if you are interested, please connect with me on info@candicevanwyk.com, and you can also register directly via the event pages on my social media pages. Okay, so that's the business coaching. And remember, even if you still want to take the full program on, you are welcome to do that, because I will give you access to the recorded sessions that we had, and that way you can catch up obviously with the sessions that you may have missed. But like I said, we started yesterday, so we're moving into the next module next week. So there is still an opportunity for you to enroll for or register for that particular module. Okay. The other thing that we're also doing, ladies, so some of you said that you would like for myself and Zola to do a workshop on time management, so that we can assist you in terms of, better prioritizing your time, and also how you are able to use some of the free tools that are out there to support you with some of your business activities. So her and I are collaborating on this particular workshop, and we will be offering you all of that value add as far as that is concerned, to help you become more productive, as far as your time is concerned, and also to introduce you to some tools and resources that you can use, that can also support you in your journey forward, as you move your business goals forward, as you move your property goals forward. And you'd be able to get some really good insights and learnings from that event. So if you are also interested in that event, go onto my website, www.candicevanwyk.com, under the upcoming events section, and you'd be able to see all the events that we currently have available, this event being one of them, and you are then able to register for that particular event directly from the website. Okay, so they will be able to assist you from that perspective. And then also, I will be interviewing various people throughout the month of July that specialize in different investment strategies. In fact, next week, you must join me again. So I will be interviewing Zukile Bokwana. So he's a serial entrepreneur. He's a property investor. He's also a cash flow game expert, a student of Robert Kiyosaki. And that's what we have in common. So we both have learned from the Rich Dad teachings, and we've taken that knowledge and we've applied it to our own investment or investing strategies. So please join me next week as we discuss with him. So he's been in the game much longer than I have. He's been investing in property for over 30 years. He's got multiple businesses in place, different investment strategies that he is currently pursuing. So I think it's going to be a real insightful journey that we're going to be arranging with him for next week. So, and he's going to help you also to get started on your journey going forward. Okay, so let me just see if I do have any questions here. I see some of you are still live on the call with me, but I want to see if there are any questions. So just give me a moment so that I can just connect with you from that perspective. If there is a little bit of a time delay as far as this is concerned, just remember you are able to put your comments into the chat box. So we're doing this live now. You are able to put your comments into the chat box, and then I'd be able to respond to those comments after our session today. So awesome, ladies and gentlemen. If there are not any further questions, I hope that today was a good session for you. I hope that you got some insights as far as analyzing a good property deal is concerned. And I really hope that you can use some of the insights and the learnings that you received through this session, and you can actually go and apply it to your own investing journey. And remember to connect with me on my website as well, www.candicevanwyk.com. Subscribe to our monthly newsletters. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel So if you've missed out on any of the live broadcasts that I've done, there is an opportunity for you to also catch up via YouTube. And of course, that then just becomes another platform for you to get some good learnings and insights. So awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I don't think that I've got any questions unless there is a little bit of a time delay, which there normally is. So just note that I will definitely make sure that I answer those questions for you as soon as I receive it on my side. I will be working through that and giving you some responses to that. But if you've got any other questions, connect with me on info@candicevanwyk.com. And I'm also happy to assist you from that perspective. So thank you for your time today. God bless you. And remember, continue pursuing those dreams and continue building your wealth as you move your financial and your personal goals forward. Thank you so much and have a lovely weekend and God bless you. Thank you.